When my daughter died, I inherited 35M. Then her father returned to claim his share at midnight. The clock struck 12 as the wind howled outside, swirling leaves like lost souls around my feet. My heart raced, pounding in my chest like a frantic drum. I never expected to inherit anything, let alone $35 million. It all started with the call that shattered my world. My daughter, Lily, gone in a blink. But with her death came a chilling twist that I couldn't shake off. The lawyers, their voices cold and clinical, spoke of her fortune, a treasure buried deep beneath grief. And then there was him, the ghost from the past, her father. What struck me as odd was how his shadow loomed even after all these years. Ben had walked out when Lily was born, leaving her to bear the weight of abandonment. Now, just a week since the funeral, I found myself at home, opening the very envelope containing the news of her inheritance when the door creaked. I looked up, certain that the gale outside had shifted something unseen. But there was nothing, just silence, and yet, in the depths of that quiet, I felt him. The very essence of dread wrapped around my throat, tighter than the scarf I wore. Was it the past coming back? My fingers trembled, clutching the news like a life raft. I dared to imagine his face, etched with regret or greed, and shivered as a cold gust rustled the curtains. It was the kind of dread that keeps you awake at night, wondering if every knock at the door would bear news you weren't ready to hear. I pushed the thought aside, shaking it off like goosebumps from a chill. But the air felt alive, electric, almost vibrating with a tension I couldn't ignore. Would he really dare to show up? For years, he had been a phantom, but ghosts have a habit of resurfacing when you least expect it. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. But the most unsettling thought gnawed at me. What if he believed he had a claim to Lily's fortune? The pounding in my chest escalated again, each heartbeat echoing my mounting fear. How could he dare? He was the one who left, who chose to vanish into oblivion while I stayed and faced the world alone, raising Lily in love. Just then, a noise shattered my thoughts, an unmistakable sound of a footstep on the creaky wooden floor of my hallway. My breath hitched, and I froze, listening intently. The footsteps grew louder, the weight of them pressing down on my sanity. My mind raced through countless scenarios, each more terrifying than the last. What did he want? And how far had he come to take what didn't belong to him? With a swift turn, I felt the icy fingers of dread grip my spine. The door, once a portal to comfort, now felt like a passage to my deepest fears. Would I face my daughter's ghost, or the man who shattered her life? In that moment, filled with doubt and dread, I realized I had opened a door I couldn't close, and the night was still young. As the final echoes of footsteps approached, my heart pounded louder than ever. Who would come through? I braced myself, not knowing if I was ready for the confrontation that awaited. The doorknob rattled, breaking the suffocating silence. I couldn't breathe, the air felt thick, almost suffocating. My instincts screamed for me to hide, to flee, but my feet felt glued to the floor. With a slow, deliberate turn, the door creaked open, revealing a figure almost swallowed by shadows. Ben. The very essence of betrayal stood before me, eyes glinting in the dim light. How ironic it was that he had returned, not as a father seeking to grieve, but as an intruder drawn to riches wrapped in sorrow. "Hello, Rachel," he said, his voice low and unsettlingly calm. "Why are you here?" I shot back, my words sharper than a knife. Anger surfaced, burning through the fog of disbelief. "I came for what's mine," he replied, stepping into the room. The scent of smoke and stale beer clung to him like a shroud. "Yours? You walked away from her," I shouted, as if my voice could push him back through the threshold. "You have no right to anything. Do you really think you can keep all of this from me?" he asked, gesturing towards the envelope still clutched in my hand. My fingers tightened around it instinctively. Lily was my daughter too. I knew she had money, and I'll claim my share. Claim your share? After disappearing for her whole life? I was trembling now, a mix of adrenaline and grief coursing through my veins. You wanted nothing to do with her. You don't get to waltz back in now. His laughter was chilling, sending ice down my spine. You're naive, Rachel. Everything changes now that she's gone. I have rights, legal rights. The realization struck me like a slap to the face. Did he really believe he could wrestle control from her? My heart raced as a cascade of thoughts collided in my mind: lawyers, the will, the truth hidden beneath layers of paperwork. I had thought I was her protector, but now every shadow felt like a threat looming over my inheritance. Get out, just get out. I yelled, trying to summon the strength to shove him back. But he stood his ground, a storm gathered within him, eyes piercing through me. I'll be back, he said, his tone ominous. The threat lingered in the air, heavier than before, clawing at the edges of my sanity. He turned and walked out, leaving me breathless. I stood frozen, the silence swallowing me whole once more. The tension in the air felt suffocating. I blinked and looked at the envelope in my hand, realizing just how real the stakes had become. The weight of the money felt heavier now, burdensome, almost. There was fear, not just of Ben returning, but of what truth hid in the shadows of Lily's past. A piece of paper held more than just numbers. It promised a violent clash of grief and greed. Chills danced along my spine, every tick of the clock echoed through the emptiness of the house. I had to prepare myself for the fight. I couldn't let him snatch away what was left of Lily. But as I steeled myself, a thought slipped in: what if there was more to the story? What if what I thought I knew was a lie? My resolve hardened, but unease curled in my gut. What other secrets would I uncover while trying to protect my daughter's legacy? The night was still young, and so was the chaos that awaited. The weight of the envelope hung heavily in my hand, a reminder of everything that had just transpired. I could still hear Ben's mocking laughter echoing in my head, a sinister melody that refused to fade. I paced the room, feeling the walls constricting around me, and the shadows seemed to thicken with each step. Outside, the sky bled into hues of deep purple and bruised blue as night settled in fully. I glanced at my phone, just past midnight. The world beyond these walls felt impossibly distant, as if I were surrounded by an electric field of isolation. My heart raced. I couldn't shake the sense that this was just the beginning. Suddenly, the house creaked, a sound so haunting in the quiet that I nearly jumped. I glanced at the door, half expecting to see Ben's face reappear, twisted into a smirk. I rushed to the window, peering into the darkness outside. My breath fogged the glass. Nothing. As I turned back, a movement caught my eye, a flicker of something beneath the couch. I crouched down, fingers trembling as I retrieved a dusty photo frame. It was an old picture of Lily, her eyes shining bright, innocence untouched. The frame felt cold and devoid of warmth, much like the memories now flooding my mind. She'd been the light in my life, and now that light was extinguished, that I sat back against the couch, engulfed in memories and dread. What would Ben do next? And what could he uncover that I didn't already know? The envelope was not just a letter, it was a gateway, a threshold leading to something darker, something I suspected lurked beneath Lily's surface. Squeezing my eyes shut, I recalled the late-night conversations with Lily over ice cream, her laughter filling the empty spaces of our lives. She had always been so secretive about her father, a man whose mere mention sent shivers down her spine. "It's complicated," she'd often say. What kind of complications were wrapped up in her past? I felt a pang of anger mixed with sadness. Lily had kept things from me, things that could impact everything now. The envelope's contents were a door to the truths she had hidden so well. My hands clenched into fists at my sides. I was no longer just fighting for an inheritance, I was fighting for her memory, her legacy. A soft rustle from the entryway made my heart leap into my throat. I shot up, eyes darting towards the sound. Was it him? Or something worse? Grabbing a heavy bookend from the shelf, I moved silently toward the shadowy hallway. The house creaked again, this time an insistent knock resonating from the front door. My pulse quickened, dread pooling in my stomach. Who would knock at this hour? I edged toward the door, every instinct warning me to turn back. The sudden thought pierced through my fear. Could it be Ben, or had he sent someone else to finish his dirty work? I held my breath as I placed my hand on the doorknob, nerves coiling tight. In that moment of hesitation, the knocking turned to a pounding, urgent and insistent like an animal at the gates. What would I find on the other side? Rachel. Open up. This was no ordinary visitor. The voice sent chills down my spine. It was someone I hadn't expected. Open the door. What did they want? The effort to mask my anger dissolved into confusion. My mind raced with possibilities as I stood frozen, teetering on the edge of revelation and fear. Who is it? I finally managed to call out, desperate for clarity in the chaos. Please, Rachel. It's Lily. The name landed like a bomb, echoing in the silence. My breath caught, heart hammering in disbelief. But how could she possibly be here? I hesitated, my hand hovering over the knob as darkness clung to my skin like a shroud. What had I truly inherited? I hesitated, gripping the doorknob as if it were burning hot. Lily? My voice wavered, uncertainty enveloping me like a heavy fog. How could this be? I hadn't seen her in months, not since the funeral, when everything fell apart. Please, let me in. She sounded frantic, breathless. I could almost picture her, standing there in the dark, fearing what lay outside those walls as much as I did. Taking a deep breath, I turned the knob and swung the door open. Lily stood there, disheveled and wild-eyed, as if she had been running from something. A tremor ran through me at the sight of her, pulling me back to that terrible day when I had lost her. Rachel, what are you doing here? I blurted out, my heart pounding against my ribcage. How is this possible? Just, please let me in. Her voice was urgent, laced with a fear that sent a ripple of anxiety through me. I stepped aside, making room for her to enter. As she crossed the threshold, the atmosphere shifted. The warmth of my home felt foreign, almost suffocating. I shut the door behind us, locking out the encroaching shadows. Rachel, she started, her pale hands trembling. You have to listen to me. Ben, he's not who you think he is. Ben. The very name sent a cold wave coursing through me. What do you mean? I demanded, feeling a mix of anger and fear bubble to the surface. What have you gotten into? I thought I could trust him. I thought he would help. She paused, the weight of her words hanging in the air. But he's in on it. The envelope, what it contains, it's more dangerous than you realize. Why are you here, Lily? What did you find? My thoughts spiraled as paranoia crept in. This was the very moment I dreaded since that envelope had fallen into my hands. I came to warn you, Lily whispered, pulling me closer. Her breath was warm, but her eyes as dark as the night outside held a storm of fear. Your inheritance isn't just money. It's a key to something he wants, something he will stop at nothing to get. A chill coursed through my veins. I could feel the shadows pressing in around us, listening, waiting. What are you talking about? The words escaped my lips in a near gasp. The history of our family, you can't trust anyone, not Ben, not even what you've believed about me. Tears brimmed in her eyes, but she blinked them away, determination taking their place. You need to see the envelope. It has the answers, but it also has the danger that follows. Before I could respond, the lights flickered as a sharp knock echoed through the house once more, this time louder, more aggressive. I jumped, my heart racing again. Maybe it's him, Lily said, eyes wide in horror. Who? Ben? No. Worse. Someone worse. Freezing, my mind raced. What had I stepped into? With trembling hands, I turned to the living room, my breath catching as I noticed the photograph lying on the floor, the frame fractured and the glass splintered. A weight dropped in my stomach. Rachel, we have to hide. Lily cried, grabbing my arm. But before I could answer, the front door burst open, slamming against the wall. The figure that stepped through was cloaked in darkness, a silhouette that could only promise more chaos. "Nice to see you again, Rachel," he said, voice smooth like poison. "I think we need to talk." My heart raced as I glanced back at Lily, who looked equally terrified. What had I gotten into? What had I truly inherited? And what hell was about to unfold? The room felt like it was closing in on me, the walls pressing tight with every breath I took. That figure, how could I ever have imagined he would return? "Who the hell are you?" I shot back, my voice trembling despite my anger. "Oh, Rachel," he crooned, stepping further into the light. It was him, the man I had tried so hard to forget. His smile, once charming, now twisted into something sinister. "You know exactly who I am." "Get out," I demanded, though my hands were shaking. "No can do," he said, his tone deceptively playful. "I came here for a reason, and you're standing right in the middle of it." Lily clutched my arm tighter, her body tensing. "We don't need to do this," she whispered. "Just leave." He chuckled softly, the sound cold and empty. "Oh, sweet Lily. You're always meddling where you shouldn't, trying to protect Rachel again? It's adorable, really." "Stop," I interjected, panic swelling. "What do you want?" Without skipping a beat, he leaned against the doorframe, casually crossing his arms. "It's simple. That envelope you've been holding is more than a mere inheritance. It's a ticket to a legacy none of us can pretend doesn't exist. But there's a price." "What price?" I shot back. He arched an eyebrow, his posture radiating confidence. "Your compliance, of course. You either give me access to what's rightfully mine, or, let us just say, things could get messy." My gut twisted in knots. "You don't own anything of mine." "Not yet," he said, the smile fading. "But you will, Rachel. You will when you see what it unlocks." "What are you talking about?" My voice cracked, desperation creeping in like darkness. Lily squeezed my arm again. "Rachel, don't listen to him." His eyes darted to her, narrowing as if he were seeing her for the first time. Such a nuisance. With a flick of his wrist, he waved her away. "You should know, there are consequences for being foolish enough to meddle in affairs beyond your understanding." I felt as if someone had knocked the air from my lungs. "What do you want from us?" "Just leave us alone." "Too late for that," he snapped, stepping closer, yet my legs refused to move. "I'm afraid you've already invited chaos into your little haven." The temperature in the room plummeted, and an unnerving silence stretched between us. My heart thudded in my chest, drowning out every rational thought. Lily's eyes widened, filled with fear and resolve. "You can't have this, Rachel. We have to fight him." But the fight felt futile. Could she really mean it? Suddenly, from outside, I heard the distant wail of sirens approaching, echoing like a siren's song of impending doom. I stumbled backward, breaking free from my daze just enough to notice the fear creeping across Ben's face. "Shut your mouth," he growled. "They can't know." "Why?" I spat. "What are you hiding?" "The truth," he hissed. And then, before I could catch my breath, he lunged toward me, a flash of desperation in his eyes. I flinched, bracing myself, ready to react, then gasped as a loud crash erupted from the back of the house. The sound shattered the tension, filling the room with the scent of something sinister lurking behind closed doors. "Someone else is here," Lily whispered, her eyes darting towards the noise. "Stay close," I urged, pulling her behind me. The sirens drew closer, but even their wails paled against the shadows creeping in from the corners of my mind. "Rachel," Ben growled. "Nobody can help you now." Fear knotted my stomach as realization struck me like a bolt of lightning. What lay behind that door might just lead us deeper into darkness that was waiting for the perfect moment to consume us whole. Would we uncover the truth together, or would it destroy us? The next moments could change everything or end it all. The crash echoed through the house, a violent disturbance that sent a jolt through my spine. I turned sharply, heart racing. It felt like reality was fracturing at the seams. What was that? Lily's whisper trembled against my ear, warmth radiating from her body as she clung to me. I don't know, I replied, my voice barely a murmur. It didn't take long for dread to creep in, burrowing deep beneath my skin. The air grew thick, suffocating. Ben straightened, his demeanor shifting from confident to something predatory. I'll deal with them, he said, his voice deceptively calm, a snake cloaked in silk. Do you even care? I shot back, my fear morphing into anger. Whatever this legacy is, it's ripping us apart. He simply laughed, a low, menacing sound that sent chills down my spine. You don't understand, Rachel. This is bigger than you, or me. It always has been. I felt my pulse racing, matching the chaotic rhythm of the sirens blaring outside. I couldn't let him win, to twist this moment into something more sinister. In that moment of weakness, I turned to face the shadow behind me, edging closer to the door. Pressing my back against Lily, I took a shuddering breath. We can't let him stop us. We have to find out what's really happening. With sudden resolve, I stepped towards the source of the noise, pulling Lily along. This was at the tipping point. Rachel, don't. Ben called after us, the warning laced with frustration. You have no idea what's waiting for you. But I was done listening. As we clambered over the threshold into the dim hallway, I felt an electric surge of adrenaline. The atmosphere shifted, an undercurrent of danger buzzing at the edges. The back door swung open almost violently, and I caught a glimpse of dark shapes moving beyond. My heart sank. Whatever was out there, it was coming for us. Stay behind me, I ordered, forcing my throat to remain steady despite the tremors rippling through me. I edged closer, ready to confront whatever lay beyond. Please, be careful, Lily pleaded. But in that instant, the very ground beneath us shook. The sirens outside crescendoed, slipping into an eerie silence that stole my breath. Rachel. It was Ben's voice, sharp as a knife slicing through my courage. You can't go out there. You don't know what you'll find. But I was already stepping through the doorway. Outside, the night was alive with shadows, flickering in the moonlight. My heart thundered against my ribs, a wild drumbeat stirring the fear within me that I squinted into the darkness, the air heavy with tension. Suddenly, movement caught my eye. A figure darted past, cloaked in shadow. I gasped, a rush of terror slamming against me. What the hell was that? Lily whispered, panic crawling up her voice. I don't know. I started forward, compelled to chase the entity that was unearthing the truth. Footsteps ceaseless, erratic as if something primal was urging me deeper into the night. Ben's voice faded behind us, frustrated and desperate. You're making a mistake. You need to come back. But the pull of the unknown eclipsed his warning, fear driving me forward. My instincts screamed to turn back, but the stakes were higher now. If Ben was hiding secrets, if this legacy was tied to everything that followed, I had to know. Ahead, the dark shape emerged again, more distinct this time with a face that made my blood run cold. Wait! I screamed, adrenaline propelling me forward as the figure vanished into the night. But no matter how fast I ran, I couldn't close the distance. What corner of my past was this haunting me now? The sound of my heart pounding echoed in my ears, drowning out the sirens that faded into the distance. And then I heard it, a whisper, crawling through the night's stillness. Rachel, it's all connected. My breath caught, and a chill swept through me. What had I opened? Would I find answers, or unleash a darkness that would swallow us whole? The clock was ticking. The chase for the truth had just begun. I stumbled forward, the soft grass giving way to a patch of hard earth. A slow dread crawled up my spine, twisting itself into a knot of anxiety. Was I chasing ghosts? Had I really come out here for answers, or was it just a delusion? Lily's hands tightened on my arm, her panic palpable. Rachel, please, we should go back, she said, glancing towards the dark horizon that felt like it was closing in around us. No. We're too close now, I insisted, adrenaline fueling my steps. There was something out here, something I needed to confront. I couldn't shake the feeling that the truth lingered just beyond the darkness. A rustle nearby made me freeze. Shadows danced between the trees, flickering like faulty streetlights. My chest tightened, and I could feel every heartbeat like a drum. Hello? I called out, my voice shaky yet defiant. Silence, then I heard it again, the whisper. Rachel. It was softer this time, almost familiar. It brushed against my eardrums like whispers of a long-lost memory. My mind raced. Who was speaking? Was it a figment of my imagination, or something more sinister? Can you hear that? Lily's eyes darted around, wide and wild. Before I could answer, movement surged from the corner of my vision. A dark shape darted between the trees. Within a blink, it vanished again, as if the night itself had swallowed it whole. Stay close to me, I urged, gripping Lily's hand tighter. We crept towards where the figure had been, each step weighted with foreboding. Suddenly, a piercing scream shattered the oppressive silence. The sound shot through the air like an arrow. My heart leaped into my throat. It was raw. Terrified. It echoed off the walls of the night. Did you hear that? Lily's voice trembled, her grip tightening like a vice. Yeah, I breathed, taking a step back. The courage that had propelled me forward now threatened to shatter. We have to find out what's going on, but we have to be careful. As we inched forward, the air grew thick, vibrating with tension. It was suffocating. The trees seemed to lean into our space, closing us off from the rest of the world. Anxiety gnawed at my gut. What were we about to uncover? I can't do this, Rachel, Lily whispered, her voice hitching. I'm scared. Me too, I admitted. But if Ben's hiding something, this is our chance to figure it out once and for all. Just then, the ground trembled again, a low rumble coursing through my feet like thunder. Shadows transformed around us, and for a fleeting moment, I thought I saw another figure behind a tree, this one unmistakably human, though its features were obscured by darkness. That I braced myself, ready to move. We must confront it, I said, my voice edged with determination. The vision was too clear. Maybe if I faced whatever it was head-on, I could reclaim the truth Ben had shrouded in secrecy. To my surprise, the shape emerged drenched in the silvery sheen of moonlight. My breath hitched as recognition flared in the recesses of my mind. It was a face I knew yet had relegated to the farthest corner of my memory. Rachel, the figure breathed, the word hanging around us, heavy with meaning and a violence I couldn't comprehend. Who are you? I demanded, my voice steady but taut. I am part of your past, it replied, stepping closer, revealing eyes full of secrets. But more importantly, I am here for your future. The implication of that statement felt like ice in my veins. What future awaited us? And what did it mean that the past was now colliding with the present, reshaping everything I thought I understood? Before I could muster a response, a chilling gust of wind whipped around us, stirring the leaves into a chaotic dance, and the world around us shifted once more. Rachel! Lily screamed as she tugged at my arm, eyes wide with fright. The last thing I saw was that familiar face morphing into something sinister, a dark promise of revelations that would shatter everything, and then, the darkness swallowed us whole. What awaited us in the void? A truth that could destroy us, or perhaps one that would set us free. The darkness clung to me like a wet blanket, pressing down, making every breath an effort. I blinked, trying to adjust my eyes, but it felt like I was submerged in ink. A faint echo of Lily's scream flitted away, swallowed by the void that enveloped us. Lily? My voice trembled. Panic danced in my throat, tightening it until I could barely swallow. Where are you? Rachel, I'm here. Her voice, strained and shaky, cut through the blackness. I swore I could hear the rustle of her clothes, a beacon in the murky depths. But I can't see anything. Just hold on to my voice. I took a cautious step forward, every footfall absorbing the weight of uncertainty. We need to find a way out. But the more I moved, the more the ground seemed to shift, like quicksand, pulling me deeper into an abyss I didn't understand. It felt alive, breathing, suffocating. A noise scraped against my ears, something that wasn't just the earth shifting, but whispers. Low and guttural. They wrapped around me, crawling under my skin. Rachel, Rachel, the name echoed, distorted and haunting, and I dreaded where it was coming from. Stop it. I screamed into the void, but the sound fell flat, dissipating like smoke. Focus. Lily's voice quivered, inching closer. Let us find a way back to where we started. Nodding despite the darkness, I turned, forcing my feet to carry me in what felt like a direction. Fear gripped me. Every crack of a twig, every rustle of grass made my heart race. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us. I struggled past my despair, pushing forward, hoping against hope that the shadows would let us go. Suddenly, a flash of light cut through the darkness, blinding me momentarily. I raised my hands instinctively, shielding my eyes. Familiar outlines began to materialize: trees, the jagged outline of the ground. My heart surged. Over here. Lily called. I followed the sound, and in moments, I saw her. She stood trembling, her face pale against the remnants of the moonlight. Are you okay? I asked, rushing over. I don't know, she said, her breath shaky. It felt like we were losing ourselves in there. I felt it too. The memory of the whispers lingered, but I focused on the light around us. Something, or someone, had wanted to keep us trapped in that dark void. I shuddered, remembering the shadow. It had been so familiar, so haunting. But we're back. Maybe we can find a way to face whoever or whatever that was. A low growl interrupted our brief reprieve. It reverberated through the trees, and tension snapped into place like a taut wire. We turned to face the noise. From the woods emerged a figure, its features rippling in the fading moonlight. I squinted, the fear coiling tightly within me again. Rachel, Lily, it was that familiar voice. You shouldn't have come here. What do you want? I demanded, stepping protectively in front of Lily. I want to help you find the truth. The truth you aren't ready to face. The figure stepped closer, and I recognized the face, twisted in an eerie smile. It was the same face that haunted my nightmares. Suddenly, another tremor rumbled beneath our feet. A low pulse, like a heartbeat, echoed through the earth, followed by a cacophony of whispers, urging us. You must make a choice. I echoed, fear clawing at my throat. Choice about what? The figure seemed to blur, the shadows swirling along its outline. A choice that determines everything, your past, your future, your very existence. Rachel, we have to get away. Lily yelled, her voice rising above the swirling chaos. But now I felt anchored, entranced. Wait, tell us what we need to do. I shouted, desperately clinging to each word, every inch of reason as dread threatened to seep in. Find the truth, the figure said, fading back into the darkness. Only then can you escape what is destined to come. The ground heaved violently beneath me, and a piercing scream pierced the air. Once more it rumbled deep within me. As the world shifted again, and light began to fracture through the shadows, the dread wrapped tighter around my heart. What truth awaited us, and how much darkness would we have to face to uncover it? The realization hit me hard. We were running out of time. The earth shook violently, and I felt a chilling grip around my ankle, pulling me down. Lily! I yelled, struggling to break free, but the shadows clung tighter. I couldn't breathe. Panic surged through me like venom. I looked back at Lily, her face reflecting sheer terror. Rachel, help! She screamed, her eyes wide, darting around for something to hold on to. Hold on. I managed to gasp, reaching out. I yanked my foot back, and with a final heave, I stumbled away from the darkness. It released me, but only to pull Lily closer. No. Stop. I clawed at the air, adrenaline flooding my system as I lunged for her. My fingers barely grazed her wrist before she vanished into the swirling shadow. The last thing I saw was her terrified expression, swallowed by the night. I'm coming. I shouted, the words tearing from my throat as I fell to my knees. The whispers intensified, a cacophony of voices urging me, tempting me with secrets I longed to unravel. Find the truth, each voice twisted in my mind, promising knowledge and power. My heart raced as the figure materialized again, looming over where Lily had vanished. You have a choice. What choice? I gasped, struggling to my feet, shaking off the icy fear. Where is she? The figure's grin widened, its eyes glinting with a sinister light. You'll find her, but at a cost. The truth you seek is buried deep within the darkness. Do you dare to uncover it? A tremor rippled through the ground again. I could feel it pulse beneath my feet, resonating with the same rhythm as my racing heart. Yes, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. I'll do anything to get her back. Sacrifice one for the other, it whispered, the voice curling around me like smoke. What price are you willing to pay? I hesitated, reality crashing down around me like shattered glass. A choice, but which one, my own safety or Lily's? Tell me what I have to do. I demanded. Just let her go. The figure faded into an unsettling laugh that echoed through the trees. Face your fears, Rachel. Only then will you understand the sacrifice required. With a sickening jolt, I felt the ground shift under me. I locked my knees, feeling the world spinning around me. Lily! I screamed, my chest tightening as dread overwhelmed me. Stay with me. And then I was falling. I landed hard on the ground, gasping for breath. I frantically looked around. A familiar place materialized through hallucinated fog, our childhood home. The air was thick, saturated with nostalgia and something darker lurking beneath. Rachel, the seductive, haunting whisper drew me in again. Memories long suppressed clawed their way to the surface. Suddenly, I heard her voice in the distance. Rachel. It was faint but lifted my spirits. I rushed towards it, fear and desperation propelling me forward. As I sprinted through the enchanted garden of my past, I felt the shadows creeping at my back, pursuing me relentlessly. You can't hide. They jeered mockingly. The truth will find you. But I pressed on, my heart pounding and doubt creeping in. Was I chasing the truth, or a lie disguised as hope? I could hear the whispers again, growing louder, their urgency wrapping around me. Find her, I burst through the door, the familiar creak echoing in the silence. The room was dimly lit, cloaked in dust and memories. Breaking through the layers of time, a figure emerged at the far end, familiar yet terrifying. Lily? I breathed, the weight of the moment crashing down on me, but the answer was not what I expected, and the truth twisted tighter around my heart, setting the stage for the revelation that would change everything. Welcome back, Rachel, the figure said, with a chilling smile. It's time to face everything you thought you knew. Then all went black, the shadows rising once more, and I was left with one haunting question: would I have the strength to uncover the truth hidden in my heart? The darkness parted like curtains as Rachel gasped, her mind racing amidst confusion and fear. She stood before the specter of her daughter, Lily, though the figure was an echo of the child she once knew. There wasn't joy lighting up her eyes now. Instead, a grim seriousness marred her features, heavy with untold burdens. Why are you here? Rachel's voice trembled. Why now? Because you opened the door, Mom, Lily replied, her voice softer but resolute. You have to confront the truth. You can't save me without understanding what's at stake. Rachel's heart tangled in her chest. But I thought I lost you forever. You didn't lose me, not truly. You just buried what you didn't want to see. Lily's words fell like heavy raindrops, soaking through the facade of everything Rachel thought she understood. Your father, he needs to be confronted. He has twisted everything. The money, the family legacy, it's all wrapped up in lies. Her voice shook with urgency. We don't have much time. Suddenly, an unsettling rumble echoed from deep within the shadows. Whispers turned into angry roars, drowning out Rachel's thoughts. She stepped toward Lily, every inch of her screaming to connect, to hold her, yet the space between them felt impenetrable. "Lily!" she shouted, reaching out. But Lily stepped back, her form flickering. "You have to face him, not just to get me back, but to reclaim everything. The truth can break his hold on you, on us." Rachel took a deep breath. A portal opened in her heart, the pain of loss and the rage against Ben igniting a fierce determination. "I won't let him take another moment from us." With a surge of courage, Rachel turned and charged toward the black maw behind her, drawing strength from the shadowy echoes of her daughter's words. "Let us end this." A new clarity surged through Rachel as she approached the darkness. She could feel the resentment rising like a tide within. Every betrayal, every moment spent mourning Lily, surged to the surface. As she crossed the threshold, the environment twisted, warping into scenes of her past memories flooded her senses. She saw flashes of happy moments, but each was laced with the bitter taste of absence. Ben's silhouette loomed behind those memories like a curse. "Rachel!" A voice boomed. "What do you want?" she yelled, the fury ignited in her chest ready to burst. "I want what's mine. All of it. This was never yours to keep." Ben stepped forward from the shadows, his figure sharp and cold, dressed in the arrogance that had marked his departure. "You left. You walked away the moment she needed you." Her voice cracked like thunder in the dense air. "Maybe. But I still have a right here," he argued, anger flashing in his eyes. "You think you can protect this legacy? You don't know what it truly means." Rachel felt the weight of the envelope tucked away, and with it, the knowledge of Lily's words vibrated through her. "It means true love and family. Something you abandoned." Ben laughed, a chilling sound that echoed in the dark. "Love? There's no love here. Only power and ownership." "No," Rachel insisted, drawing closer. "It's about the legacy Lily created, and it's not yours to destroy." Lily's spirit flickered beside her. "Mom, together." In that instant, a rush of clarity fell over Rachel. She realized her inheritance was more than money. It was a call to combat the fear that gripped her heart. It was the chance to honor Lily's memory, the legacy of love weighing against the greed that Ben represented. "Your greed ends tonight," Rachel declared. The shadows roared back as Ben took a threatening step closer, but Rachel stood her ground, supported by the love radiating from Lily. In a final confrontation, Rachel unlocked the envelope, allowing a bright light to burst forth, illuminating the darkness. "Lily, show him." Images swirled and coalesced. The truth of Ben's misdeeds and the reality of their shared family history unfolded vividly. Rachel felt the fear dissolve as light consumed the shadows. "No!" Ben screamed, his voice cracking as he stumbled backward. "That's not how it works." "It is now," Rachel replied, empowered, as the light surged, revealing the essence of their love and resilience. The truth was unyielding against the darkness. As the blinding light enveloped everything, Rachel felt Lily's presence warm and protective. "We did it, Mom." Overwhelmed with relief and joy, Rachel turned to see a new home emerging from the remnants of shadows, a world filled with memories of love, not loss. "I love you, Lily," she cried, feeling the weight lift from her heart, and just like that, in an explosion of light and warmth, the darkness fled. As the night melted away, Rachel found herself standing where it had all begun. The house felt renewed, filled with light and laughter, untouched by the past. Lily stood beside her, no longer a ghost, but alive, her spirit shimmering with the love that had bound them together. "Let us live," Lily said, bright and pure. "Yes," Rachel replied, tears of joy spilling forth. "Together, we'll carry the truth forward." As they embraced, Rachel understood that the legacy they fought for truly belonged to them alone. And in the silence that followed, Rachel whispered a vow: "Nobody will ever take that away again." Please, if you've been captivated by this journey, don't miss what's next. You need to subscribe now to ensure you catch every exclusive story swirling from this channel. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm so our community thrives. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about the ending. I want to hear every single thought. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Your support makes all the difference.